All right, today on the Jay Douglas Show, we have Tom Toole from Philadelphia, Treasure Davis from Colorado Springs, and Byron Lazine from Connecticut. And boy, do we have a show. Make sure you pay attention and take some notes. Okay, today we have an amazing show. We've got some awesome people, and we've got Tom Toole, Treasure Davis, Byron Lazine, and I'm so fortunate because they all came from out of town, and we just had our big grand opening. And if you didn't see any of that content, make sure to check out our Facebook page, YouTube, all that stuff, because it was a blast. So thank y'all for coming. I hope you've been having a good time.
Absolutely.
Great. So let's just start with, not everybody who's watching this show has necessarily seen all of you. Although I know a lot of people that we mastermind with, we all try to just stay in front of these cameras all the time to help each other out. But just give us a little context of who you are so the audience knows exactly who we're talking to.
Ladies first.
What a gentleman. And he's from Philly, so
that's a surprise. Yeah.
I think we had those.
Yeah.
Hi, I am Treasure Davis from Colorado Springs. I run a team out there. This year we're on track for 400 transactions, been licensed since 2005, and we're really committed to helping our military. That's really our passion of who we are.
Awesome.
So I am Tom Toole. We work the suburban Philadelphia market. Our team is going to sell about 300 homes, 320, somewhere around there. This year we've got 10 salespeople, including myself, an awesome back end that keeps it all together. And I have been licensed since I was 19 years old, so I've been doing this a long time.
Nice.
Real long time.
Very long time. Yeah.
Byron Lazine, Connecticut Marketplace, Shoreline, growing team. We have about 10 sales agents and marketing staff and admin staff. A little bit less of a producer than these guys. We're about 130 to 150. We're going to end up in total transactions this year, and just about 50 million.
Nice, awesome. So to bring some context to the show, we, as you can see, there's a little bit of a crowd behind us. So if you guys in the back, maybe wave hey. But we got a lot of people here because we brought them in to do this big mastermind, and all three you're talking too. We had Treasure talk, we had Tom Toole talk. Let's all say, hey, Jason Ferris, sorry you had to get on the plane, but you just missed the show.
Hopefully you made
And
it.
probably his plane.
And hopefully, probably.
If you would have been on the show, definitely.
But we pulled Byron in here just to get another little bit more context to what we're talking about. But I just wanted to elaborate and just ask some of the general questions that we have, because Tom talked a lot about objection handling. If you guys have ever seen him, look him up online. It's amazing. Do we have a good time, crowd?
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. Right. So stumped everybody in the room. Treasure talked about culture, talked about team processes, and it's really amazing to watch this team continue to grow and grow and grow. And then Byron got to sit and watch, and then he just hopped up here on the couch. He's like, I'm taking over, so that's always fun too. But has an amazing show as well. So what I want to do is just ask some more of the generic questions that maybe some of the audience has. I've had some of the audience text me some questions, so that's why I'm going to be cheating on my phone here a little bit. But let's just start with the most simplest questions possible. What about lead sources? What is your top 3 lead sources? And you could all answer, maybe one or two of you, and we'll bounce around and get through all these questions. But what's your top lead sources? And then if you want to elaborate on anything like that, go for it.
Want to go first?
Yes.
So over 50% of our closed transactions are referral based.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no Zillow spend whatsoever. Literally, basically none. Less than 2% of our closed transactions will come off of Zillow leads. So we produce a ton of content similar to this. A lot of Facebook, a lot of Instagram content, and just engaging with people right in the community, at different events, that kind of stuff. And that's been the bread and butter. Now, it's super debatable whether I should be pouring some of that time and energy into online leads, right? But we've been pouring it into employees and continuing to build content in our local community, being the voice there, so that if a big player like a Zillow or somebody like that, Open Door, whoever comes into that space, they're still going to think of us first.
Awesome. And where are you from?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay, awesome. Is Connecticut all of Connecticut?
Connecticut Shoreline. I usually just say Connecticut Shoreline. It's a small state. We can kind of wing up and down 95. So.
Nice. Okay, cool.
I would say that for us, most of our business comes from past clients. They refer us, and agent-to-agent referrals. That's the primary source of our business. We do stuff online for sure. but that's not where we get the majority of our leads. So they are agent-to-agent referrals, so going to the event, stepping out of your comfort zone, networking, giving cards, leaving something as a takeaway has worked out really, really well in our marketplace.
How long have you been in the business?
Since 2005.
If you were to start this year, past clients may not be your number one lead source.
Mhm.
If you were to pretend you were in your first year of business, because a lot of people in this room are in their first year,
Yes.
what do you think your answer would be?
I can tell you exactly what I did. So because I uprooted and moved to a market where I didn't have a sphere, I didn't have family, I didn't have anything, which looking back was a really risky move, but at the time I didn't know any better. I also thought looking at houses was fun, so there's that. So I got really involved in the community very quickly. I started volunteering, but I started volunteering to learn the market that I had moved into and volunteer for nonprofits that really meant something to me. And because I was there for the right reasons and I led with my heart, the business just followed. So
Pretty awesome. Cool.
So our business is a database sphere, number one. That should be number one for everybody as far as I'm concerned. Number two for us is Zillow, and number three are expired listings. Zillow is about 22%, expired listings are around 13% of our business, and past client spheres 36, 37, somewhere in that range. So we've got a really solid 3 lead pillars that we go with. Expired used to be a little more robust. The market, there's not a lot of stuff expiring now, so we've had to pivot a little bit. But that was the clear way we became successful, was because those people hired an agent, they brought all the people through their house, they just picked the wrong agent or it didn't work out or they got bad advice, and so I knew they were motivated, and that's one of our big qualifiers, how motivated is somebody, because that's going to tell you if they're going to do a transaction or not, especially when the market shifts a little bit. Motivation is really key. So that's one of the things we look for, and part of our scripting and our dialogues we use with our team.
Awesome, awesome. So, and Tom's from Philadelphia, Treasurer's from Colorado Springs. So I want to dive into something that probably everybody's been dealing with life just in general, challenges, right? Everybody in this room has had a challenge in the past 12 months. What is your challenges that you've had in the past 12 months? Maybe a little vulnerable here, and just be like, what have they been and how have you dealt with it?
Right now in our marketplace, we have a lot of inventory, a lot of listings, right? We're carrying right now today over 50 million in listings. So the challenge has been finding buyers, right? We're not in a marketplace like the rest of the country where there's a lot of job growth, and in Connecticut, people are actually leaving more than they're coming in, right? So there's a lot of people that are on the market. So it's getting creative and making sure that the buyers that are going to close on a property are coming to our listings, right? So that's been the biggest challenge.
So, and on that note, like, it's safe to say that the market is starting to shift. You guys feel in your marketplace?
No
as well?
question.
So,
It's just the same though for us. It's my point.
Oh,
right? Like
wow.
it's just been
Is that right?
steadily. Like we didn't. While Massachusetts did, Connecticut did not. Right. So
Gotcha.
very, very high taxes, a whole bunch of which isn't interesting to a lot of people. But yeah, we didn't have the boom in the last 5 years that
Wow.
most of the country did.
wow. So a lot to learn from you probably and how you dealt with that.
Right.
Cool.
I would say for us, the beginning of this year, so the first half of this year, was really the best year we've had since I've been licensed since 2005. And so kind of just the sheer exhaustion of getting through that first year and everybody kind of getting used to, I list a house on Friday, I have multiple offers, on Monday I sell it, and now getting back to, oh my gosh, my listings take 60, 90, 120 days, which is what the norm is, but we have forgotten how quickly what the real norm is. So going back to that mindset of remembering this is where we really are, and really taking the time to educate and train our agents to not get into the market is shifting, the market is crashing. They haven't gone through any of that. They haven't really learned how to fish for business and how long it takes for follow-up. So making sure that we're doing that and making sure that we remember, and to our culture and our core, is we create the market. We do not wait for the market to create us. We create that market. And so getting in there and prospecting and doing all of that has been really beneficial for us.
Awesome.
What you just said there makes a ton of sense, because even when the market's bad, and I was in 2008, 2009, people are still buying and selling properties.
They are.
That's the misconception a lot of agents have. So when it goes to finding out the motivation, asking the right questions, like understanding who's going to be a serious buyer or seller and who's not, we're seeing the same challenges. I mean, our market, when you're going 150 down the road and it goes to 80, it feels like the market is in the toilet, but it's not.
It's not.
So what you've been going through, what we're kind of seeing in our markets, it's about committing to those daily disciplines. I mean, it's about showing up every day, filling your pipeline, making the calls, knowing how many people you need to talk to, all those sort of things. And that's a challenge everyone watching this should be thinking about. How are you going to overcome that? And because it's happening across the board, across the country.
Right, and outworking, your competition. And this is my favorite time of the year. I always say winter is my time, because you can see that now people are getting into the holiday season right now. And so now we have our own space and we're not in there, but when we were with our company of 200 agents, I would point out into the parking lot and I'm like, look at everybody gone. You get on the phone and you start calling now, because you're gonna be successful in 90 days from now while they're on vacation mode. So we're going to outwork our competition.
And working the days that people don't want to work.
Right.
Like, we've been religious in our marketplace to do 8, 10, 12 open houses a weekend. Nobody likes to work weekends. We're hammering open houses because we have so much inventory, we need to make it available for the limited buyers that are in the marketplace. Even if only 2 or 3 people show up to the open house, we need to get bodies through the door, we need to get feedback, we need to work price reductions when appropriate, so working when other people don't.
I haven't had a conversation like this in a long time. We're talking about like days on market, getting up there, price change conversations with sellers. And what I find interesting about that is like the majority of agents in today's industry have never had to deal with this.
Right.
So they think the really impressive market that we've been through is the norm, when they're really about to find out that we're kind of coming into a normal market. So do you guys have any opinions on, like, I mean, nobody has a crystal ball, but do you have any opinions on what do you think we're coming into? Are we going to hit the recession? Everybody's always asking those questions. Any thoughts?
So there's a lot of data out there. We've all talked about this at some level, and there's the question of, is there another bubble? And keeping current matters. I mean, they chart this stuff. They're very clear there is not, because if you look at like the boom and bust, if we wouldn't have had that, what happened when the market really crashed in 6, 7, 8, 9, we would have been about at the same point right now if things kept going up at a normal rate. So there's a correction, and there's another correction, and now we're kind of back into the norm. What we are going to see is, you're not going to see 10% year-over-year appreciation anymore. It's like 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. The pace of pending sales is going to slow down a little bit. That's when you got to work, service your clients, all the stuff we're talking about here. That's how you win, no matter if it's a good or bad market.
Right. And as we learned from Jason talking today, like what you focus on, you attract, what you manifest. So if you're focused on the sky is falling, you're going to be out of the business. If you're focused on we create the market and we create our opportunities and we're going to do the best job for our clients, our team, our colleagues, other realtors in the marketplace, that's what you're going to attract back to you. So really being consistent and doing your affirmations and really staying true.
Yeah, a good market or a slower market, the most important thing is going to be getting the inventory, right? Like if you're not getting listings every single day and you're just focused on, for instance, Zillow leads or realtor leads or whatever and working with buyers, that's going to put you in a very vulnerable position.
Cool. Well, Dan Peterson from Atlanta asked that question. Thanks, Dan, about the challenges. So I've got another question here from Mac. What CRM do you use?
The one Mac works for is my answer, so I guess we're cool, right, buddy? So I use Boomtown. It's worked well.
What do you use?
I use Boomtown, but let me tell you the reason why I use Boomtown.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of choices out there. We've used other platforms. For me, I'm not as techy as the 2 guys I'm sitting next to. I'm just gonna keep it real. And so using Boomtown, while it's very in-depth, and we were talking about it at lunch, it's like the Ferrari of CRMs for sure. It's very user-friendly, so everybody can use it. But the stuff that you can extract out of there and do like the category audit reports, and to be able to easily turn leads off, turn leads on, adjust who's getting leads and all of that is so user-friendly that anybody can do it. So you don't have to be a tech genius to be able to do it. And the other thing that I love about Boomtown is that they're always being innovative. And as you guys heard on my talk, that's one of our core values. So they align with our core values of being really, at the forefront of the CRM marketplace.
We're using FirePoint for all of our website leads, and then Contactually for our database and our CRM.
Cool. Simple question. Awesome. So next question we got here. Marcus Holt, Director of Recruiting for our brokerage, wants to know, since he's talking to all these new people coming into the business, for the first year, of any agent out there that's like, maybe they're in their first year or they're thinking about getting into business, what advice might you give them?
First year agent?
Yep.
The best advice I can give a first year agent is work 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like, tell your wife, tell your husband, sorry, I'll see you in 2 years. Like, that's, I mean, but that's
Right.
the honest piece of advice,
That
right?
is real
Like,
advice.
and do everything you possibly can, right? Like, you hate expireds, call more of them, right? I mean, I remember my first year in real estate, there was a company in our marketplace that everybody gets out of work, they're like trade guys, at 1:30, 2 o'clock, and 2:30. I would take 1,000 flyers, I would go across the street to the bar, because they all would walk across the street to the bar. I'd put like 200 or 300 right there, and I'd say, anybody that takes a flyer, buy them a beer on me, here's $200. And then the other 700, I would stand there and hand them out to every single person walking out of their job. Now people would yell at me, you're a loser, you're an idiot, why are you wasting your time, right? But I'm getting attention. I'm pulling people towards me by making some type of action, right? Because if you're just gonna focus on doing videos and you're new, okay, some people are gonna buy into that, but it's certainly not gonna work all the time. And if you're just calling, you've gotta do everything, which is gonna take time and a large commitment. And if you have a spouse or your family, they have to be your partner in that and be willing to allow you to put the time in. You're not gonna do it any other way. There's not gonna be some automation where you can work 4 hours
Right.
a week or a day. You've gotta put the time in, find a place where you can do that.
The 4-hour work week doesn't work in your current.
Not in real estate, right?
Right? You guys got an opinion?
I would say for us, it would be really just making sure that you're aligning yourself with a good mentor, a good coach, someone that can come alongside of you and teach you the ways of how to do things, because we all know real estate school doesn't actually teach you how to sell real estate. Basically scares you of all the ways you're going to get sued. And teaching you about meets and bounds, and in Colorado we don't even use that, so
I
that
still
was,
don't know what that means.
I don't either. It's very
What
helpful.
about cemetery brokers? That's a good one we have in Pennsylvania.
What is that?
Cemetery plots and brokers.
Oh, wow.
Apparently a business.
Yeah, so just making sure that you're aligning yourself, because I hear a lot of agents, whether they're new or experienced, say, oh, I don't need a mentor, I don't need a coach, I know exactly what I need to do. Well, I know I need to go to the gym 5 days a week, but if I don't have someone, my trainer or my class I go to, if I don't have someone holding me accountable to it, it's very easy to hit that snooze button because I'm not accountable to someone. So aligning yourself with someone that's gonna hold you accountable to the goals that you set, and writing your plan down. I look back to my business plans and I can remember putting down, I wanna sell 24 houses. We now sell over 24 houses a month. But at that time, 24 houses a year was a huge deal for me. So being able to look back on that and remember where you came from and putting it down in writing really helps to visualize and make things happen.
Cool. So yes or no real quick, do you have a coach?
Yes.
Do you have a coach?
Yes.
Yes.
So do I. Okay, cool. Makes sense. What is probably some of the most important things, or maybe the most important thing that you do to help hold your team members' standards up to you? Like, what's important to make sure that your team members are doing or not doing? Like, maybe like, for example, making their phone calls or logging their data, or something along those lines, or maybe it's a much bigger picture. Maybe it's like number of sales. What are you guys thinking?
The easiest thing we did, and we did this 1 year ago, 7 a.m. call with the entire team, Monday through Friday, no excuses, have to be on that call, unless you're on vacation type of thing, right? But even if you're taking that day off and you're in the market, you're local, you have to be on that call. And it's a 5-minute call. Carolina, our ops manager, leads the call, and it goes like this. Okay, Byron, give me your numbers from yesterday, right? And I recite my numbers, and then each team member recites their numbers. How many calls, how many conversations, did they come from V7, did they come from Mojo, exactly where they are, and now Carolina is recording all that data, right? Then we talk about the hot sheet in our local market, we talk about our pendings, and it's that quick, that simple, but it's a starter, not only for that accountability piece, but to start your day, to start your mind in the right place and moving towards your goals. So our 7 a.m. team call.
Awesome. And on that note, the two of you guys, right, kind of got something going on, the whole 5 a.m. thing?
Yes.
5 a.m. calls 2 hours
Yes.
before, but that's not a requirement for our team. So
But it's like
awesome.
how many people are on that call?
We have 1,100 on the private Facebook group. Usually, anywhere from 20 to 30% will log into the live call
Yeah.
every single day. That's anybody that's interested, that's 5amcall.com. And that's a 5-minute call. And that for me, I know Tom and I, when we first started the 5 a.m. call, you know, the first call was just literally accountability. It was like, hey, asshole, are you awake?
Yeah.
and that's how
That's my friends call me, by the way, so it was totally cool.
and it was just making sure that we're awake to start our day and our morning routine, so that we can actually have a powerful day, right? Like if I don't go to the gym at 5:30 every single day, I'm going to be a different person when shit hits the fan. Like when things go bad, I'm going to get frustrated if I didn't get that energy out of me early in the day. So that's really what it is for me.
Yeah, that's been a game. I mean, you asked me to do it. I remember this like vividly, and it was like 3 guys on the call. But now all of a sudden, like I wake up at 5 a.m. every day, and I'm like just happy. Like my body wakes up then, and I'm like ready to go and do what I need to do. So I'm coming into the office organized, prepared, versus disorganized and getting ready to work for an hour, and then it's like 10:30 and you don't know what you did.
There will be as your business grows, right? Like there's clients calling you at 8 a.m., 8:30, and if you're just waking up at 7, you're probably not even going to pick up that call at 8 a.m. if you just woke up an hour ago. So I don't know, in Connecticut, people go to bed early and they wake up early, so I want to be out ahead of everybody, not only the competition, but my clients and all that noise.
Awesome. And not to heart too hard on that, but like you guys have different people. I know I've been on it. You've been on it? You've been on one of
That's
those
3 a.m.
We keep asking Treasure to do it.
Yes, and I'm like, that's 3 a.m. I'm not getting up at that time.
But
So
you got a lot
I
of
do the
amazing
California time.
I got you.
So 5 a.m. is 6 a.m. for me.
A lot of amazing people have been on that. So cool. Okay, so back to what we were talking about though.
What he said there.
Minimum standards though.
Yeah,
Like,
so we do have minimum standards where our team has to do a certain number of things just to be in lead flow and get new leads. So one of them is be at 4 out of the 10 possible times to prospect in the office. In the office is key because if you're prospecting from home, there's not that energy. You don't get to feed off each other. There's no live coaching or anything like that. We can't hear people on the phone. So 8 to 11, 4 to 6. Those are the best times to make calls. You got to be at 4 of the 10 during the week, so 40%, not that much. You have to log your numbers every day. We have a visual scoreboard up in the office which shows everyone's conversion ratios, who's making the most calls, all that sort of stuff. So high accountability there. They have to do 2 open houses a month, do 2 deals a month, and no past due to-dos in Boomtown. Because if they have past due to-dos, they shouldn't be handling new clients because they can't even keep up with the people they're trying to nurture. So that's like the last thing you need is having to respond to leads right away. So go for it.
Well, I don't want to cut you off, but I'm a huge believer in in-office work, right? Like if you're prospecting and you're going to do, we were talking about earlier, like those text message videos or a bomb or whatever, and you're going to send that out as a piece of follow-up. Like, do you want your dirty dishes behind you, or do you want like this amazing space that we're sitting in right now being the backdrop, right? Because when somebody sees that, they're going to connect with you, but they're also going to be like, whoa, like these guys and gals are like serious, like they're legit, right? So I think that's so important, being in the office.
Absolutely. So we do everything that they do.
And then more.
And then our level of accountability is a little bit higher. No, we have everybody track their numbers in CTE every night, but then we also do a daily reflection where we're asking them like, how would you rate the day as it pertained to work? How would you rate your day as it pertained to you as a person? How can we help you? And then I would say the biggest piece for us is our sales manager doing one-on-ones with our team, 15 minutes every single week, just as a check-in to make sure that we're not missing something, because everything's great until it's not, right? And so when people have like personal tragedies or life that gets in the way, you want to make sure that they know your value and know that you're going to be there to walk right alongside of them.
Hey, Treasure, I'd love to ask, is it different? I know we're treating agents differently. I said before I had about 10 agents. Well, half of those are brand new. So their level of accountability is a little bit different than our experienced agents. They've got to be in the office every Monday through Thursday from 9 to noon and report to Lucy. They have to do more coaching calls with our coach. Do you treat certain agents at a certain size differently, or is everybody kind of the same?
Everybody's the same on everything.
Like it.
And I do everything, with right alongside of them as much as I can. I'm starting to switch now that I'm stepping into the, CEO role. But I got a letter from one of my sales partners that talked about one of the things he liked is that I sat at the desk with him, that I did the calls with him. So everything was us together as a team, and that's powerful. So.
Getting in your trenches and rolling your sleeves, or in the trenches and rolling your sleeves up, there's no replacement for that. Because when you ask someone to do something you're not doing, Like,
Right.
how's that gonna look? What are they gonna think about you? And if you wanna lead, you gotta lead with the team. Not ahead of them, not top down, but like with them side by side. No question.
Awesome, cool. So next question, Kelly Juma from Chattanooga, Tennessee, just wants to know a little bit of tech tips. Just something simple, anything you can that's very implementable. You know, like let's not get too crazy here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got a tech tip that I'll let Tom speak on a little bit. You know, we're actually using this with our team, so tracking and measuring. That, you know, if you want to grow the numbers, you got to know where you're growing to, right? And you've got to be looking at those every single day. So I'm fortunate enough to have Carolina, who's kind of inputting the data, but Tom's, how long have you spent on software?
The product's called Realty-Pro, and myself and my partner developed it because we needed something to keep our agents accountable. So this wasn't like some.
But it's not something that came overnight, like you were working
It's
on
been
this.
about 15, 16 months right now,
Yeah.
and it's visual scoreboard. So you know, like imagine watching like the Super Bowl and you have no idea what the score is. Like you have no context, right? So it shows where you are in the year. It's got all the agent conversion numbers, a leaderboard with pending sales. KPIs, so like calls, contacts, appointments set, listings taken, and then there's a competition feature as well. So we have it up and visible, and there's like no hiding anymore. So we've probably all had those agents that are like, oh, I'm making the calls, and then they have nothing going on, and you log into their CRM, and they made 8 calls in the past like 5 weeks. It's like it just doesn't work. And more importantly, on the back end, there's an ROI calculator: cost per lead, cost per close, cost per appointment. So you can make really informed business decisions, because I don't have the time to go through like a billion spreadsheets. I just want to know what's working and then move the money appropriately.
And if the agents know, okay, I'm supposed to be in the office 4 out of these 10 points, like to, you know, in your system.
Yeah.
But then they're also seeing what, you know, where they rank. You know, if they're not putting in the work, it's going to take care of themselves, right?
Yep.
Like, they're not going to.
Or they're going to want to climb. I mean, it's like
Exactly.
either
It's
want to
gonna
climb the
work one way or the
leaderboard
other.
or they're going to check out. So,
Yeah.
and you want the people that want to go out and hunt. I mean, great salespeople are found; they're not made in most cases. I mean, you can work with someone, but they have to have some sort of skill set and the drive to do it. So it's helped. I mean, our per agent productivity is about 24 units this year, way less than Treasurer's team, obviously, but we've gotten some people up to a point where they're really focused on their numbers, and they're treating it like a business.
And shameless plug here, how do they find that?
So it's realty-pro.com, or you can just message me.
Cool. We have a team in our brokers that is also
Yes.
using it, so
Yes.
it's awesome. Good stuff. Okay, so now that was his tech tip. What is your tech tip?
So I think what we're doing right now with video, it is really easy to film video, and you don't need to overthink it. Like, start out with your iPhone and get a lav mic and clip it to you, and get a light and just shoot a quick video for 30 seconds. Use video first follow-up. BombBomb's a great product that we've sent like 1,700 BombBomb videos in the last 3 years. Video first is going to crush it every time. I mean, we're on video right now. Obviously, video is the way things are going, but if you take it to the consumer level to get in front of them, it's going to be a lot more effective, and you're going to convert more.
My tech tip would be to use call action to figure out the way to utilize that to the best that you want to utilize it for. We utilize it for speed to lead, and it also records phone calls and does drips and texts for us and automates that to give kind of that Amazon Prime experience for our agents and our clients to make sure that when they have a question, they're getting a response right away. That's been really helpful for us.
You guys just hear what you said? Amazon Prime experience. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Let's wrap it up with just what's like something fun, like your superpower, or what do you want to share? What do you want the world to know about you that they can take away from you from watching this video?
Superpower, huh?
No, we're like,
Or your highest value proposition, or you know, what is something that like every time you speak, like everybody's just like, say that, like when you get on stage, make sure you talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it goes back to the morning routine. Like, it really does. I mean, and I'm doing it 7 days a week. I'm so committed to it. Like, now I feel like to the point where if I miss a day, it's like I might as well just take that day off, right? Like, I really need to have a clear mindset. I need to spend, it's only 3 minutes I spend in my journal a day, but I need to spend 3 minutes getting my thoughts out, like in writing. Need to hit the gym. I need to be on that 7 a.m. call. Those first 2.5 hours of my day need to be the same over and over and over again, or the rest of my day is going to be super chaotic.
I heard someone talk about how the body is meant to operate the same way every single day, And when you get up early 5 days a week, and then Saturday, Sunday, you stay out too late, have a few too many to drink, and then your body just like all messed up through like, the rest of the weekend, and then you try to get back in the groove on Monday, that's pretty bad for you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right?
so-
like, it's like, I used to watch a lot of football on Sundays and, like pounding the buffalo wings and the drink, right? Like, it'll take you all the way till Tuesday to get that shit out of your system, like literally, right? So, yeah, I try to do the same thing every single day.
And for the people that don't get up at 5 o'clock every morning, should they start at a certain time, get in the habit there, and then slowly work it back, or was that just like a big commitment one day and you're like, I'm doing this?
Well, for me, when I first got into business, going back to like, what I would do as a new agent, I was working like crazy, and I was getting up just off of pure adrenaline. I was so excited to like get into the business and really make an impact. I was getting up at 4:30. What ended up happening a couple of years in, I started having some success. I noticed I was waking up at like 6:30, and my day in the morning especially would be all over the place. I didn't know where to start. I was ignoring my calendar, and that's when 2 years ago I pulled it all the way back, and I was like, I'm gonna be committed to getting up before 5 a.m. so I can be on this 5 a.m. call every single day. I'm really passionate about it because I know for me I'm a different person if I don't hit this and check that box to start the day.
Awesome.
I think for me, something that I'm asked to speak a lot about is culture, accountability, core values. That's really at the heart of who we are. But I think a big piece of that that I would want to really make sure that people know, especially being a working mom, is that you really can have it all. You just have to make sure that you're building your kids and your family into what you're doing as well, so that they're a part of it. Like today, my family's here with me. My kids are here with me. We're making this an experience. I'm building them into what we're doing so that we can have it all together. We just design what that looks like for us. And that's been super powerful for us. And the other thing is, so many times in this business, I think realtors get hung up on, well, he's really good at video and I'm not good at video, so I have to go chase this over here. Well, I'm never gonna be that. I'm an artist. I'm never going to be that tech person. I'm not going to get there. So I have to really stay true to who I am and what I want to accomplish in my business. And the other thing that I think is critical, if you have never done this, Tom Ferry has us do this, where we write down, like visualize like where we want to be in 5 years. And when I was moving into my new building and we had our grand opening, I was kind of shoving things away to pretend like everything, was clean and put together. I pulled out a sheet that I had written at one of my first summits, and I wrote it, and these are just dreams, right? And it was, I'm gonna have this team, and I'm gonna have accomplished this many transactions, and I'm gonna have, my kids are gonna be happy and healthy, and I will have gone to Hawaii. And the bottom one was, and I'm gonna own my own commercial space. And at the time, I never thought I would own my own commercial space. I was just trying to figure out how to sell a house. So when you visualize that and you put it down and you lock it away and then you look at it later, like it's really rewarding to look back and go, oh my gosh, like I've accomplished so much in my life that I never dreamt was possible. And so now being in coaching and all of that, like looking back and realizing where I started from in 2005, where the struggle was legit real, we were living off of credit cards, to where we are now, like that's been a really rewarding process that I think people should not forget along their journey of whatever their life is. So
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, a vision board has really helped me with that, right? So my example of a vision board is like everyone else's, but I do in 3 parts. So at the top, I ask every year, like, a couple months before the year starts, I ask my wife, what are the most important things for you this year? Put all those at the top, right? Then I put the things that are important to me in the middle, and then all the work stuff, right? Like how many transactions we need, how much money do we need to make, goes at the bottom, because that's going to support, and it really makes that partnership super strong. So it's
I love that.
Yeah, it's been super powerful, right? Because I work so much, and that's frustrating, right? Like to your spouse. But when you're a team in that, it's like we need this stuff on the bottom to happen if we're going to check these other boxes up top, right? And so that it brings you back to like, okay, this is why we're doing this. This is why we're going through that. So.
And I think also, you know, on that is like reminding your family of like when you're doing something is like reminding, especially when your kids are little, like reminding them of the value of money. So when we take these trips and do these things, I'm like, this is because mommy and daddy work so hard. That we're doing this because mommy and daddy work so hard. Like this is not just we're give everybody a participation ribbon. You get these things in life because you work your ass off.
Hey, also on the visionary piece, I just got back from Vancouver for an event that we were at, and I heard a speaker on stage say something I haven't thought of, and I'm gonna have our whole brokerage do this. And it's like a mentor board. And I haven't seen this before, but this guy showed us his mentor board, and it was literally, before he makes a decision, he always walks up to his board and says, have I asked all my mentors? Whether it be your parents, your people you mastermind with, he has Google up there. He's like, before I do anything, I'm gonna Google it and see if someone else has already done it. But I mean, it was just wild. He had his wife up there, and it was just, it really kind of made me think like, you know what, there's a lot of times I make quick decisions, and then sometimes I go ask all my mentors, like, why didn't that work? When I should have just asked them from the beginning. So think about a mentor board as well. All right, last one.
So following treasure is always tough, as that Byron, but a couple things that kind of came to mind here. So you had a very specific thing you wanted me to do at the event here, which was objection handling, and not so much about that, but if you really want to master something, you got to practice it. I mean, it's not that these things aren't going to happen overnight. The best athletes practice. You know who won practice every day? Michael Jordan. He got in fist fights with his teammates, and then they won 6 titles. So when you think about how you want to get really good at something, it's not just doing it. The implementation is a big step, because once you take that first step, that's huge. But then practicing it, and not practicing on the prospects, but practicing in the classroom. I just sold this for Doug. Practice in the classroom, practice with the appropriate partners, and then actually do it on your clients or whatever you're going to do. So actually invest the time in trying to master something, because mastery will not happen overnight. And the other thing that came to mind was something we've done at our team with a couple agents who had some things they were working through, and I never thought it would work this well. I mean, it's like a revelation. The daily journaling. So, but like being specific. What are you grateful for? Like 3 things you're grateful for, an affirmation about yourself, and 3 things you're looking to happen that are going to make today great. And then at night, why today was great, 3 reasons, and maybe 2 ways it could have gone better. So you're trying to improve, but also reflecting on the attitude of gratitude and what you have going on in your life. And when you start to focus on gratitude, everything else is going to flow from it. So, I mean, those 2 sort of hacks there, that they've really helped a lot of people, not only myself, but people on our team and people in my life.
Awesome. Guys, this was fun. I bet we could do this for hours, but you guys probably want to have a little bit of fun in Chattanooga. Thanks for being here. This is amazing. Thank you so much. I'm excited. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you stay tuned, and tell us what you think. If you have questions, make sure to comment below, because I have a feeling these people are open and willing to have another conversation, all right?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.